Hello and welcome to AFS Technology's monthly learning series. Thank you all for joining us today. My name is Stephen Rugg and I will be moderating today's session, Fact-Based or Gut-Based, the smarter way to develop food service go-to-market strategies. In today's webinar, you will learn how to find insights in your data and identify white space opportunities. In addition, you will find out the answers to identifying who are your priority operators and which markets would be best for you and your new product. Before we get started, I would like to go over how to participate in today's event. You will have the opportunity to submit questions to today's presenters by typing your questions into the questions pane of the control panel. You may send in your questions at any time during the presentation. We will collect these and address them during the Q&A session at the end of today's presentation. Now I'd like to introduce you to today's presenters, Susan Sanford and Kathy Kearns. Susan Sanford is AFS TPM Food Service Product Manager with over 19 years of experience in food service claim settlement, deduction management, and contract management roles. Her experience brings emphasis in the last 7 years on user training and client engagement, which has provided a solid foundation for leading product direction and enhancement. Kathy Kearns, a CHD expert, joins us today with over 20 years experience in an executive customer service role in industrial supply. Kathy has spent her career being a strategic and innovative customer-focused leader, delivering impressive multi-million-dollar bottom-line impact through operational improvements that reduce costs and increase revenues. In her current position as General Manager of CHD North America, she leads the North and South American team, providing data and marketing solutions to food service manufacturers, distributors, and suppliers. Thank you for being with us today, Susan and Kathy. I'm going to turn it over to you both now so we can get started.
Okay, thank you, Stephen. My name is Kathy Kearns. I'm General Manager of CHD. I want to thank everybody for their time today. What we're going to talk about today is how you find insights within your own data set and really identify some white space opportunities or some void metrics and develop some really fact-based go-to-market strategies for your sales and marketing department. So the contents of today's presentation is I'm going to tell you a little bit about CHD and then really focus on what is the food service of the food service footprint in the United States today, and then go into what are your challenges from a sales and marketing standpoint, what are you running into in the industry, and then what can you learn from your data and how you apply that to your sales and marketing strategy, and then where do you get this data from. So a little bit about CHD. We're a food service data provider solely focused in the food service industry. We work with manufacturers, distributors, and service providers. Globally, we have about 4 million operators. Here in the U.S. is about 1.3 million, which I'll be showing you on the next slide. So some of the we're a data compiler, so you'll see here an example of what we have available for like a hospital, for example, all the different operator attributes, contact information, and full segmentation. And we do update our data on a monthly basis with opens and closes. So a little bit about the U.S. food service today. We categorize 3 different universes of data: commercial, food service, non-commercial, and then retail. So in the database today, we have about 140 different segments. So this is a very high-level segmentation. So the commercial food service makes up 825,000 locations. Non-commercial is about 215,000, and retail is about 300,000. So the universe itself is very overwhelming. When you're talking about really getting your brands and your products out there in front of the operators and promoting, how do you do that effectively and cost effectively, because there are so many touch points, and that's what we're going to talk about. So here are your challenges today from a sales and marketing standpoint. How do you promote your product to those 1.3 million operators? Very difficult to reach all of them. So today we're going to talk about how to do that. And prioritizing those 1.3 million operators. So let's just say you don't have a sales department, but you're relying on your distributor sales reps or your brokers to promote your brand. So how do you help them get them the leads that they really want and those warm leads that are going to help them penetrate the market and get you some more organic market share? So you may have a sales department internally, but usually it's maybe for national accounts, which they're going to call in chain headquarters, larger hospitals or colleges. But you really are missing that piece of the pie. That's the street business, the independents. And there's some large volume independents out there that could or possibly do use your product today. So you have maybe some limited resources in sales and marketing just to even call on operators. So, how do you reach out to them? And just a fun fact, it costs over $300 to send a salesperson on a sales call on average in the industry. So you don't really necessarily want to send a salesperson to every operator that's out there. So it's really important to make those operators and those leads sales worthy. So what can you learn from data? We're going to have a quick poll to ask some questions. Okay, so Stephen, I can't see the results, so maybe you or Susan could communicate the results of the poll in a few minutes?
Yeah, so we'll give just a couple more seconds left. All right, so it looks like we got a couple more coming in. All right, so we'll go ahead and close the poll. Were you able to see it?
No, I cannot see it.
Okay, so
there it is.
So yeah, here is the results.
Okay, so Susan, could you speak to the full results because I don't see them on my screen?
Oh, okay. Yeah, there was almost half have used all of the factors: direct sales, DSR, marketing. No one has none of these. A small percentage uses marketing only. The next level is direct sales force, about 16%, and DSR, broker only, is about 32%.
Okay, great. So we'll jump back into the presentation then. So let's talk about what you can learn from your data. All right, so this is a product that I have as a manufacturer called Fire Hot Sauce. And really what I want to do is I want to market who would be the best operator to buy my product. So the first thing you want to do is take your current data and profile your biggest customers, those that are big potential users, and find out what those operators look like. So in this example here, you have some current customers that are buying your product, and there's 322 in the casual dining segment, and their menu types are pizza, chicken wings, and Mexican, and they earn over $1 million in sales, in revenue every year, retail sales. So that's interesting, and also one of your big users is CNU. So by using your transactional data, you can take and profile these operators, come up with a model, and apply that model to the rest of the industry. And now you can see there's additional prospects that fall in that same category, and these are your high-level leads that they're most likely to buy your Fire Hot Sauce. And now your marketing message is a little bit different. Introduce your brand or product. Try a free sample should be your offer. You have to make the assumption that maybe they don't even know your brand. So you want to start it out as a beginning marketing message. Okay, so the second thing you can learn from your data, and this is very interesting for salespeople to use for hot leads. Which customers could be targeted for new products? White space is basically who's buying product A and not buying product B. So in this situation, what you see here is this customer's buying product A, B, and D, but they're not buying my product C, E, and F. So this is what we call white space. White space, or you may have heard the message void. So from a marketing message, I would introduce your brand and product again. The products that they're not buying, and I offer the free sample, but also give them the similar discount and contract pricing that you're offering on the other products. So the other thing that we want to look at is and this is really important, is lost business. We want to call it recapture business. So we want a positive twist on this. So who's no longer buying your product? They used to buy it 2013, and now they're not buying it in 2014. So you've lost business. They know your market. They know your product. They used to buy it. Find out why. So the message is, we missed you, come back, and we'll give you X for doing so. So go-to-market and sales strategy based on data, prioritizing what is sales worthy. So the first thing you want to do with your data is everything we talked about. For priority one, what you send to your sales reps, your DSRs, or your brokers should be large potential accounts. Determine those large potential accounts by using sizing metrics such as number of beds, number of students, annual sales, number of rooms for hotels. Low-hanging fruit. This is your white space. So these are people already buying your product. They know who you are as an organization, but get your other products in front of them. Complementary products. Recapture business. This is your retention. Get that business back. Give those to your salespeople because they used to buy from you. So priority two, these are the customers or operators that I would communicate through inside sales or marketing. They don't necessarily deem sales worthy because they're smaller, they're model customers. So you really want to communicate through sales and marketing strategy through inside sales. So how do you do that? So here's kind of a visual of that. So today you have your customers on the bottom. You want to retain and grow those, upsell them, but you also want to send your sales and DSRs and brokers your priority one large potential accounts. Your white space, who's buying product A and B and not C. Recapture the business you've lost. The big portion of priority two is your small, low volume potential prospects. Reach out to these guys with email campaigns or direct mail campaigns. If you have an inside sales department, maybe make some phone calls. Create a hot lead for your salesperson. So where can you get the data? So today, AFS Technologies has a platform for contract management called TradePro Foodservice. What we've done is we've taken our CHD expert data and overlaid it with the TradePro data to bring a lot of intelligence to the operators within the TradePro system. So I'm going to turn it over to Susan. She's going to go through some things regarding TradePro.
Hi, thanks, Catherine. Well, I'd like to start with just a quick poll to see who has visibility into their operator claim data. And so we'll just take about a minute here just to give everyone a chance to make the selections. And we'll just give a few more seconds and then we'll begin. Stephen, do you think we have it all together?
Yeah, we'll go ahead and close.
Okay. Okay, so it looks like the majority have about visibility to 20 to 40% of their operator claim data, with a few into the 40 to 60%. And so we'll go ahead and move into the rest of the presentation. Oh, great. So AFS's TPM solution, TradePro, includes operator unit level reporting, which is used to identify contract compliance for GPOs and national chains through an indication of buying and not buying. This reporting can be used to target new customers, additionally identify those white space opportunities with your current customers, like who's buying my regular product but not my sugar-free, or the lost business, who was buying from me last year but not this year. With the CHD partnership, the CHD attributes of size and volume and cuisine and segmentation helps make this data even more actionable so that you can filter to those larger customers that you want to target. Because as Catherine had mentioned, there are so many operators out there, you can't possibly meet with each and every one of them or identify which ones you want to campaign with. So by being able to filter these reports to that targeted audience, then you can recoup that lost business or new customers. Additionally, AFS's Discovery 2 G2 analytics includes the claim transactional data. And this provides the ability to analyze and action the transaction data. You not only gain visibility into volume and dollars associated to a given operator, but you can view the data in many factors, including distribution, brand, categories, and products. So like in this example, being able to see Abhow Terraces of Los Altos, that is the product is being delivered by Cisco San Francisco. And looking year over year, I can see that they used to buy 92 cases in 2013. However, in 2014, the case volume has dropped to 20. So this brings up a lot of questions. And is there a slippage? What did we lose the business? And being able to provide that actionable type of data. With the Discovery G2, we also have multi-layering. Catherine, if you click, thanks. Multi-layering to be able to drill into the claim data from different levels. So, for example, taking and looking at an operator and looking through their distribution, through your categories and products, and drilling that data, or looking in through the CHD information and starting with the CHD segmentation of the buffet-style restaurant, and it is a 101 to 250 unit size, and the volume is 1 million to 2.5 million in business, and the cuisine is a varied menu. So this gives you that visibility to profile your current customer, all the pertinent data to then go back into CHD to look at other like-type operators that you would want to further campaign with. And if you can hit the next, thanks. So in summary, we have, by prioritizing your efforts, you can determine what is sales-worthy. You know, looking for those high-volume operators, the white space opportunities, you know, the customers that are buying some of your products. You already know who they are. You already have contacts working with them. And recapturing business, you know, that business that you used to have, in determining what happened, why did they stop buying? Are they receiving competitor products? Maybe private label products are being substituted. And being able to profile these customers, who are my customers, what type of customer do I want to continue to go after so that I can reduce the 1.3 million operators down to just the grouping that I want to target and pursue. Create the marketing strategy to reach out to these high-profile accounts, and then customize the message depending on the customer activity. So we'll break into questions that you may have.
All right. Thank you, Susan and Kathy, for sharing these insights. We will now take some time to go over the questions we have received from our audience. We'll give a few seconds for them to populate. All right. Looks like we have a few here. Our first one is, what have other manufacturers and food service done to combat category management by using data?
Okay, Stephen, I'll take that one. What we found with other manufacturers utilizing data, what they're doing is really making sure they keep a distributor-friendly, operator-focused culture in their environment. So it's important for you to reach out directly to the operators to promote your brands, especially in category management. The industry is changing so quickly, and it's important for us to make sure those operators know how they can get your product. So if your product is no longer being carried by a distributor, you know who is selling your product. So make sure you let the operators know, this is where you can get my product.
Great, thank you. All right, our next one is, how often is the operator data updated?
Okay, so since there's two different sources of data here, we have the TradePro data and the CHD data. So this is a multi-tiered question and answer. So from a TradePro standpoint, defeats come in daily for the rebate claims. So they're compiling their data on a daily basis, and it's updated immediately. So on the CHD side, the actual operator database that we overlay, we update our database monthly with opens and closes to keep up on the churn in the market. There's usually around 50,000 openings a year and around 60,000 closings. So we're actually changing today in the market. It's actually going the opposite way, where we have some growth this year, so that's good news. But we do match our data set completely with the AFS data set on a monthly basis also. So those updates are put on TradePro on a monthly basis.
Great. Looks like we just got two more in. What is the process to match your own data to CHD's data?
Okay, so if you have internal data, right now we are already matched with AFS data as well as Foodservice Rewards data. But the process really is talking. All we need from you is the operator name and address. If you have phone number, great. It helps with the match rate. We can provide a sample match to do a proof of discovery to show the match in the pen. But really the process is, let's get that data in-house, and then we will go through a whole cleanse, match, and dedupe process with the CHD Find database.
Great. What is the match rate between AFS and CHD databases?
Okay, today currently our match rate is around 75%. There's a lot of reasons why we don't have a 100% match rate. One we call out-of-channel operators. So the CHD database is primarily food service only in those segments I showed you earlier. So when you have some out-of-channel database operators in there, such as a car wash and things like that, and believe me, they are in the data set, I've seen it, so there are some rebate claims being made to some operators like nail salons, dentist offices. We wouldn't typically have that in our database today.
Great. Now we just got one last one. How long should the match process take?
Well, that just depends on the quantity of operators that we're matching into our data set. Usually we can turn something around between 2 to 4 weeks. For a larger data set of, let's say, 250,000 operators, it may take about 4 to 6.
Great. Now that looks like that is all the questions we have from our audience. On behalf of AFS, thank you for taking the time to participate in today's webinar. As a reminder, all participants will receive an email with a link to download the full presentation, and other complimentary resources from AFS are always available on our website, afsi.com.